Greetings, brethren, Hausburger Donkey here, and I finally finished my commission that I was working on, the Grot Rebels, which is great. I do still have more for that same commission here in this box. There's still some orcs and some grots, but I have some other things to do first. I have this commission that I still have lying around from last year. That's zombicide characters, and I really need to finish that. But before I get to that, I'll take a few days off and do something for myself, and it will be the Barbarian Infantry that I had already talked about. I already finished the 2 Barbarian characters for the July Wargamers Anonymous Painting Challenge. The next painting challenge, as far as I can see, is going to be Cavalry, which means it's probably not going to have anything to do with Oathmark. I do still have a bunch of Goblin Wolf Riders that need painting, but I don't really want to get into them now. I want to do the Barbarians completely first, so these, the Giant, and the few more champions that I have. And then I'll deal with the rest of the goblins for Oathmark. So I think for the for the August challenge, if it ends up being cavalry, I think I'll do some squick hoppers that I still have for my Age of Sigmar goblin army. Yeah, because they've been sitting around forever, and I don't know, they just need to get painted as well. So I think this would be a good opportunity. Anyway, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a quick overview of how I do the speed painting on these, because I did mention that I was going to speed paint all of these barbarians, and that's what I'm doing now. I have them all set up. And the way I approach this this specific one, I have several different speed painting methods that I like to use. In the case of these, because they have a lot of, like, they're not very uniform, and they have a lot of, like, little bits. I didn't want to use my sort of standard technique that I'm going to show you for the Free People's Oathmark army that I'm going to do, and that I also usually use for historical stuff. I'll show you that method when I get into one of those projects. But for now, this is a sort of, I don't know, you can use this kind of speed painting method for pretty much any figure, but it is especially helpful for irregular looking figures. So anything that isn't wearing uniform. And the way I do it is I take a figure and then I look at exactly what the figure has. Right, so in this case, it has a cape, it has these arm wraps, it has a bunch of fur spots. There's some fur here, there's some fur on the boot, and there's some fur on the arm. It has a tunic, pants, a bunch of straps and belts, and then boots. So there's 1 area for the cape, 2 for the fur, 3 for the straps and belts, 4 for the tunic, 5 for the pants, 6 for the boots, and I guess the arm straps can just be worked into the belt. So 6. All right, so we're looking at 6 areas of clothing. And then I go through them all, through the different ones, and see if there's any more. On average, with these, it comes out to 6. There are a few that are 7, and there's a few that only have 5 areas. And then once I've determined that, I sprayed them all in a brown. So that brown is already going to be one of the colors on some of the equipment pieces that they have, and it'll vary. And I then, because I set it 6, right, 6 areas, I picked 5 colors that I'm going to use on all of them. In this case, I'm going to use, Vallejo Green Gray, and I dropped this one in the paint, great. We have Vallejo Flat Brown. We have Vallejo Panzer Aces Track Primer, which is probably one of my favorite browns in the Vallejo range. It covers really well, and it gives a really drab gray brown, and I really like that. Then we have Panzer Aces Light Mud, which is also one of my favorites now. And then we have Vallejo Model Color Saddle Brown. And that's what I'm going to use. And and then I also have 3 accent colors. And I chose for those Cavalry Brown, gray blue, and US dark green, all Vallejo model color. And the reason I chose those three is because you don't want to just go with browns and grays, because that'll make the army look really sort of just wishy-washy. You want some color in there to bring it out. Since they're kind of barbarians, I went with slightly muted tones. So the gray blue is probably the starkest one. And the other ones are kind of more muted tones of red and green. And I then pick a color. So I started with track primer. Ooh, you can see it's right here on my wet palette. And then I go through them all, and I take the first one. And for this one, I picked the fur and painted all of the fur. So I painted his cloak, I painted the fur on the boots, I painted the fur on the arms, and yeah. And then I went to the next one, and for this one, I picked out the trouser, so painted the trouser in track primer. And on the next one, I did the tunic, or most of the tunic at least, because he has some kind of under tunic kind of thing. And on the next one, I went with the straps, I believe. Yep. So the arm straps and the straps on the over his leggings and the belt. On the next one, I went with the boots, as you can see. Then this one, I went with the sort of under tunic, because it kind of looks like he has sort of a leather vest or coat over his tunic, and so on and so forth. And then I just go through, and each one has one of the areas at random, basically painted with track primer. And then once all of them have something painted in track primer, I move on to the next paint, which will probably be green-gray, and then each one again gets one of the areas picked out until I'm through my 5 basic colors. And then each figure should have one area left that's brown, and a few of them, the ones that have 7 different ones, they'll have 2 left. And for those that have 2 left, they get one of these, of the accent colors, just to splash in some extra color, but I don't want to have too much of the color in, so it's only the few ones that have a 7th bit on them. Then I also already did these, there's 2 kinds of shields in this soldier's unit. Some have these wooden shields with iron bossing, and the other ones have like these leather-covered shields. So I already painted the leather-covered shields with, I want to say it was buff, Vallejo model color buff. And yeah, and then once all of that is done, once I have all the basic cloth colors and the accent colors on all of them, which will surprisingly take, it doesn't take that much time. You can get through this pretty quickly. It's, you know, it is a bit of monotonous work because you just go through so many of them, but in total time invested, it gets you through these models so much faster. And when I have all that done, then I'll paint all of the wood in a color that I haven't picked yet. Probably will be US Field Drab, because I kind of like that for wood. Then I'll do all the metal, and what else? Am I missing something? Wood, metal. No, I think that's it. And then the whole model gets a wash of Agrax Earthshade. I have one right there. Yeah, Agrax Earthshade from Citadel, which is probably my favorite brown wash. And since I'm gonna do nothing afterwards to the clothes and the wood and etc., the metal I might go over again with Nuln Oil just to bring it down and make it really dirty, dark, sort of yeah, just dull metal. And once that's on, then that's it. Then the only things that are left are detail work. Like I'll put some sort of colors, some like paintings and stuff on the hide shields. Maybe some face paint. I haven't really decided on that yet. Oh yeah, of course. And then comes all the skin. And the skin and the hair, that's what I'll actually spend some time on. The hair, I'll probably also just base coat and wash, but I'll use some starker tones than the cloth colors. Like the cloth colors I specifically chose pretty, pretty drab colors. I mean, as you can see, this track primer is very dull. So yeah, and then comes the skin, and I'll put a lot of effort into the skin, do a 3-color up. In this, they'll just get a regular sort of Northern European skin, and I'll start with Panzer Aces Light Rust, then go to Panzer Aces Flesh Base, and then a 50-50 mix of Panzer Aces Flesh Base and Model Color Basic Skin Tone, because the jump from this to this is a bit too much. These two are, like, it looks really red in here, but those two are a lot closer, and this one is a big jump. Yeah, and then that's it. Then they're done. I'll do some extra work on the shields. These two guys get flags, these two bannermen, and that's it. So I hope I'll be through with these by the end of next week. It might be possible. I don't know. I'll have to see. It depends a bit on how the temperatures are going to be, because it is currently very, very hot in Germany. But yeah, that's the project. I'm really, really excited to finally paint something of mine again and just get a load of these models painted up, because I really want to start playing some Oathmark, and yeah, this'll get me there. So I'll keep you updated. Let me know what you think, and I hope this little insight in how I do one of my speed painting techniques was helpful. I'll make a video somewhere halfway along the way, probably once I've finished all of these cloth colors. Yeah, so you can see where we are and how it looks, and then maybe another video right before the end or something. We'll see. But that's the plan. I think I was also tagged in the I'm a Wargamer series, so I'll do that tomorrow probably. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this, and keep posting those awesome videos, and keep commenting, and I'll keep commenting, and yeah, see you guys next time. Take care.